Okay, hello. Hello, Onyo, are you here? Onyo, are you here? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Can hear you.
Yes, yes. So I just wanted to confirm if Onyo is here so that he can help us record the meeting because I've just tried to share the meeting on YouTube via a live stream. Okay, I'm going to mute this. Okay, I was open. So Shavins, can you hear me? Hello,
Yeah, I,
Shavins. Yeah, so are you able to record the meeting from there from your end?
mm, let me
I
try
want
it out.
someone to, yes.
Just
Are you able to do it?
hold on, please.
Okay, just check to see if you can do it because I just tried streaming it to YouTube, so it's not giving me the option to also record. Just wanted to make sure that we have the recording for this class so that we don't lose it as just like the previous ones. So just check and see if you can, because I'm going to be sharing my screen, so I don't want it to just share only the tiles here without sharing what I'm going to be displaying. So I just want to make sure. Do you
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
option,
I'm already recording.
to record the meeting?
No, my system is kind of full. Sorry. Hello.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Who can help us do this now?
Yeah,
Please,
please.
who on the call can help us record? Just click that three dots and see if you can record this meeting from your end so that we don't miss this one. Anyone? Uh, okay. So I think time is just going, so it's better we just start. Okay, you can't record also. Okay, okay, okay. So I think we can just start. I'll have like 13 people right here. So I'll just still try and see if I can do the recording. Okay, let me just share my screen now. Yes, so hope everyone can see my screen now. So good evening, everyone. My name is Muhammad Ibrahim, as you've all known me. We've been having this tutorial sessions for a number of time now. And then today, due to people's demand, and then today we're just going to be talking about bash scripting again, even though we've discussed it in the past. But then I think a lot of people are still having issues with understanding bash scripting. So we're just going to use this class to just go over it again and then, go through all the basics, try to explain it better for people to understand, and then make sure that everyone is being attentive, and then if you don't understand anything, just call my attention and then ask your question so that we can be good to go on this session. So first and foremost, we're just going to be introducing what bash scripting is, and then we'll go on from there. So firstly, bash scripting is just mostly around just writing your command within a file, right? So just like you are not new to writing Linux commands. So bash scripting just allows you to write those commands that you already know on Linux, right? So you just write them in a script so that you can be able to run them on a later time, or you can schedule to run them on a specific time intervals whenever you want to, maybe using cron jobs and so on. So that's just bash scripting. It just allows you to write the normal Linux commands that in a file, and then you run them whenever you want to run them. All right. So how do you start to write bash scripts? So for you to write a bash script, you need to start the line with this line called shebang. So there are two variants. You either use this line right here, or you use this other line, right? So all of them are just mostly pointing to the bash utility, right? So it's, yeah, the bash program is like, it's a bash program, right? So in this binary file, and then this other second version is like pointing to bash within the environment variable. So they basically do the same thing, and then in most tutorials you are mostly going to be seeing this shorter version, right? So that's just how you start the line. So let me just go into my terminal, and then run a very simple command, just so that I hope you all can see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, just you can just open your mic and talk.
I can't see your screen, please. I
You can't see
cannot.
my screen?
No, I cannot.
You guys can see my screen? Can anyone see my screen? Can anyone see my screen?
Though you are not yet on your terminal, but I can see your screen.
Okay, okay, okay. How about now?
Yes,
How
you're on the
about now?
terminal now.
All right, all right.
Yes.
All right. So the person that says he can't see my screen, please, maybe you can just log out and then log back in. The problem might be from your own end. So just log out and log back in, okay?
Oh, okay, okay. Let me log
All
out.
right. So basically, this is how you start. This is how you start writing your bash script, right? So this is a VI. Okay, let me just go out now, and then let me just go out and open the file once more. So initially, before I started the recording, I was trying to just open a file, just so that we can just be writing some of the commands in that file, so that we can all be seeing it. So what I just did was, I just did a VI command, which is the VI editor, right? And then I'm trying to open a new file called runscript.sh, right? Which is going to be the name of my script now, right? Which is going to be just the file that is going to be holding all my Linux commands. And then I'm using an ampersand to link another command, which is the change mode, which is going to change the mode of that script to make it executable, right? Because if you don't make your script executable, you are not going to be able to run them using the path, like by invoking the path. But then you can also run your scripts even without making them executable, when using the utility bash, right? Just using maybe bash like this, and then write the script name, right? Which we're going to be looking at later on. But what I'm just doing right now is, I'm just doing two things. I'm just using vi to create the file, and then giving it the executable permission. So that was what I wrote right here, right? So since the file has already been created, I'm just going to go into the file. Okay, first and foremost, let's check if it is executable yet. Okay, run script. Okay, yeah. So as you can see, run script is now executable, like all of the other files right here. They are all executable, right? This X, for the owner, X for the group, X for the other users, shows that they are all executable. So let me just go into the script, right? So this is the first line that I'm talking about, right? This right very very line. So this is the line that makes your script executable. It tells Linux that this is the what's it called? This is the interpreter that I want to use to run this script, or this file, right? So let me just write a very simple command, like echo Okay, I need to go into the insert mode first, and then I'm just going to write a simple command echo, all right, and just say hello world. Right, so I'm just going to save this now and then run my script. How do I run the script? So to run your script, there are two ways to run the script, right? You can either invoke the part of that script or use bash utility, right? Or bash application, anyone you can call it. So you can just invoke the part. As you know, the script is now located within this my directory. So all I need to do is just to specify the part and then run, right? So what error am I getting? Required file. Okay, so this is the other way to run the script.
Have you changed the mode? Have you changed the mode?
Yeah, I've done that. I don't know why. Let me just try that again. X and then run script. Okay, I'm running into some kind of issues now. I don't really know what is causing that, but then we've been running our file like this in the past. So just to save time from trying to debug it right now, we can just continue using the other way to run our script right now. So I'm just going to be using bash to run the script, but as you know, you can also invoke the path, right? Just invoke the path, and then you should be good to go. Run script. So it's executable, but I don't really know. Let's just not waste much of our time trying to debug that problem. So we're just going to be using bash currently to run the script. So as you can see now, the script that was inside that file is called just run this command. So I'm just going to print it on the screen. So it's just the echo command, right? It's just the echo command and it's just echoed what hello world, right? So
A
that is one
mistake
way.
in the
There's
shebang.
a mistake with that shebang. I think that's why that is not even running. It's not executing with that command you first use. There
Oh
is no
really?
Yes.
slash forward in your shebang.
Okay. Yeah. Bin bash. Sorry. Let's use this. Let me just use this for now. So you say what's the error?
Your shebang, there is no slash forward after that I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's why we cannot execute it with that command you used to.
Okay. Yeah. So that was the problem. That was the problem. Thank you so much for noticing that. Uh, Mostly I think me I just copied the bin bash from somewhere. So that was why I didn't really notice that problem. So thank you so much for noticing that. So as you can see, just invoke the path. So even though you are not within the directory of where that script is located, you can just actually locate where the path is, right? So let's say maybe uh, let me go back to my home directory. Let me see. My tilde sign is, where's my tilde sign? Okay, let me just do this. So I just want to demonstrate how you can just invoke that file from wherever you are to run the script. You don't necessarily have to be within that directory. So you can just say uh, what is it called? Project, right? Project, right? Script, and then the name of the file. Right? So you see, from wherever you are, so long as you know the part of that script, you can just provide the part, and then whatever is within that script is going to be run. So long as so long as the name of the script, so long as the script has bin bash, right, has what it needs, which is this. So long as it has this bin bash, automatically the interpreter will know that this is a bash script and I want to use bash to run that script. And then you can also use bash as well, right, to run the script from wherever you are, right? So let me just go back to my directory. So that is just the basics of how you start up with writing your shebang and then running some of their simple commands. So let's check out some other commands. So let me just vi, and then let's do an echo. Let's do an ls. Okay, still running. So you see, after printing the hello world, it went ahead to list whatever is within that directory, right? So you can see, I just did an ls to list whatever was within that my current directory. So we can also do the variants, ls-lh, right? Just save the file. So you see, within my script, I'm able to list whatever is within my directory, right? So this is just to tell you that you can actually run whatever commands that within Linux, right? Whatever commands within Linux can be run within your script. You can also do pwd. Let's do a pwd. Uh, let me just say my working directory, right? And then I'll just do pwd, right? So that command is going to be executed all from within my script, right? So after printing this hello message, and I'm now printing my own working directory, which is this, right? So simply, you just use that. You can just use bash script to run whatever commands you want to write, you want to run within that script, whatever commands you want to write, Linux command, and then you can save them for later and then use them wherever you want to. So bash scripting is like very important in terms of automations, right? Automations and a lot of other things, right? So I hope you get that part. Yeah, so we're just going to be moving on. So just make sure that whenever you have a question, you can just feel free to maybe raise your hand or open your mic and speak. Okay. So next up, we're going to be looking at okay. So making your script executable is what we've just looked at. It's just is just for you to use the chmod, right? Chmod, which is change mode, right? And then adding an executable permission, which is plus X, and then your script name. Your script name and in our case, this was our script name. So, but then if you only want to make it executable, make the file executable for the user only, you can add a U, like this, and just make it only executable for the user or for the group, right? For the group, it can be like that, or for others, it can be just add an O, right? But then if you want to make it executable for everyone, you don't need to specify who you are making the script executable for, right? And this stands for change mode, right? Then what next? Okay, then running our scripts as we saw initially, you can just directly use bash to run the script, right? So when using bash to run your script, right, you don't even need to make this file. The extension doesn't even need to be .sh, right? Bash will just go in there and try to run whatever is within that script, right? So even if you don't have shebang
I'm
at the
sorry,
top,
Mohammed.
making your script executable is what we just looked at. It's just for you to use the cheat mode. Okay, I think someone's mic is on. Someone's mic was on. So someone was talking here. Any question or concern? Okay, I'm just going to move on. Right. So while using Bash, to run your script, um, Bash actually doesn't care whether you make the file .sh file, because .sh stands for what, shell, right? It doesn't care whether you make it .sh or having the shebang at the top. It just goes in there and try to see if it can run whatever is within the script. So long as there are Linux command and Bash can run them, just go ahead and run them. Okay, somebody's hand is up. Okay, go on. Who wants to speak?
Okay. About the if you want to run the file, is it compulsory we should have the bash running with the file name?
Bash run.
Yes.
I don't understand. Okay,
For this
Bash
script,
is just, yeah. Go on, go on.
now you said bash run. Okay, you said run slash the
On
script.
script.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is actually just the script name. It doesn't mean anything. You can just be anything. You can just say hello.sh, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just the name of the file. It doesn't mean anything.
Uh,
All right. So so as I was saying, you don't even need to have shebang. You don't need to have shebang at the top for uh, Bash to run the script, right? So that's why it's always advisable to use the paths, just so that you make sure that your scripts are portable and they can be run on any Linux machine, right? So it's always better for you to have this shebang at the top, and so that it can be executable everywhere. So let's go on to variables, right? So what are variables? Variables are like placeholders, right? You can just call them placeholders for you to hold whatever values you want to hold, within your script, and then use them wherever you want to use them. Just like this example, you just need to provide your value within quotation marks and then the name of the variable, right? Let me go and check my script. Let me see. I think I should have a variables example. Let me see. Okay, let me try script one. Okay, so this is just an example of variables. So variables just allow you, variable is just like a container that allows you to store whatever you want to store. So let me just comment all of these things out so that we can run the example for variables. So in this example, we have a variable called name and we have the value Java. We're storing Java within this name variable, and all we want to do is we just want to echo hello and then the name of whatever variable we have within, whatever value you have within this variable name, right? So let's just run that and see. So you see hello what, hello Java. So that was what, that was substituted. So you see this name now was substituted and then the value Java was printed, right? So this is just a way for you to assign a variable, assign a value to a variable, and then use that variable wherever you want to, right? And so that is going to be, the value is going to be substituted automatically with the name of the variable, right? I hope you are getting that. So we just want to be moving very fast so that we can cover a lot. So that is just variables. It's pretty simple. If you done anything around computer science or programming, variables just as easy as that. So then how do you read input from users? In a point you may need to run something, maybe running an application, and you may want to collect inputs from the users. So how do you collect inputs from users? You use the read command. So within this my example now, there is an example that will demonstrate that. So let's just uncomment that so that we can run that. So the read command will just only allow you to read the variable and then store it here, right? So the dash p here, all the dash p here is doing is just trying to print a message which is called a prompt. So the dash p stands for prompt. So it's just only going to display this message and then collect the value, collect whatever value the user types, and then store it. So just make sure that that prompt you see where the cursor is going to be clicking and then waiting for you to insert whatever value you want is going to be invoked by this read command. So not the p or not any other command, but the read command. The read command actually helps you do that. So what we then want to do after collecting the input, we want to just echo hello, the person's name, and then the file name, right? So I think let me just leave this file name out for now so that I don't confuse anyone. So I just want to use only the variable name, right? So here we're just going to only be uh, demonstrating the read command. So so you see that the read command now is now printing this and then invoking me, with this cursor, right? So this cursor is just saying I need to enter something before I can continue, right? Which is my name, and then click on enter. So you see hello and then my name, right? So this is just the text that we just printed, and then we are substituting the variable. right? So we just want to quickly preview the command within that script. So as you can see, it's just the read command, and then we are doing some kind of a simple substitution, right, with the name. So mind you, this is just like a variable now, right, that is storing whatever the user passed in, right, and then storing it as a variable name, and then we are accessing it here, right. So that's just a simple example for how to collect input from users, right. So what next? We're going to be talking about then arguments, right. So arguments are just like a way for you to provide some extra values to a script, right? So say you have a script and then you want to, whenever you run that script, you want to be providing those values, so those values are then going to be dynamically passed to that script. It's never going to be constant, so in this example, you see this is just the name of the script, and then you are passing one, two, three other arguments, right? So long as whatever you type after the script name, you know, that is going to be counted as one, and then a space will then, denote that is a space, or you're trying to provide a second variable, right? So let's just go into the terminal and show a quick example on arguments. So I have a file, I have an argument.sh script here. So I'll just do a vi argument, right? So in it here, right? So that's just a simple example for how to collect input from someone's mic is on. Someone's mic is on. What next? We're going to be talking about then
Mohammed?
arguments, right? So someone's mic is on. Arguments are just like a way for you to provide some extra values to a providing those values.
Hello?
So those values are then going to be hello, I can hear you. Dynamically passed. It's never going to be constant. We are also
Hello?
playing. We are also playing the live stream, so it's kind of confusing. And then Fundi, I can hear you. You want to ask a question? And so as long as whatever you type after the script, hello, I can hear you. That will be counted as one, and then a space will denote that is a space. Or so let's just go into the terminal
Hello?
and show a quick example on arguments. Hello, can you guys hear me? So I have a file.
Yes,
I have
yes,
an
we can hear you,
argument.
sir.
We can
Okay,
hear you,
Fundi,
but someone is talking.
please, you need to mute your mic, please. If you want to ask a question, you can just quickly ask your question.
I
Okay,
have my hand up, but I can't. Hello? Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. Um, I don't know if the YouTube is going faster than this meeting live because, okay. Anyway, I wanted to ask, do you use the hashtag to separate the different commands so that when you execute the script, it shows the latest thing that you updated there? That's my question.
Okay, hash command. Okay, the hash I was writing initially, all those hashes in the previous script files. Do you mean those hashes in the previous script file?
Yes, because I notice it's like that's how you separate the different bash,
Okay, the
like
different
from the
commands. Okay.
variables, yes, from the commands. Because from my script, I still okay, yes. But is that what you were using to separate them? You see,
Okay,
yes. You
let
see,
me
for
just.
example, that hashtag printing hello, and then you went hashtag name, hashtag echo, then hashtag, and then
Yeah.
read, which is that
Okay.
variable. So yeah, I just want an
Okay.
explanation on that.
Yes. Okay. Okay, Fundi. So that is actually a comment. right? So I'm just like using a trick here to isolate this part, right? So when the interpreter reads this, it will just look at this as comment, and then it's not going to execute whatever I type here, even though they are valid Linux commands, but then they are not going to be executed. That is why you see them printed as blue, right? So they are not going to be executed, and then only this is going to be executed. So this allows us to
Thank
just
you so much.
segment this part and then show this example. Hope you are
Thank
okay
you
with
so
that.
much. I understand.
Yeah, okay, you're welcome. So, but then only excluding this hash sign is only useful for identifying this file as a bash script. But then every other line starting with the hash sign is going to be treated as a comment. Okay, all right. So let's go back to our script, which is okay. Are we on arguments? Arguments. Yeah. Okay. So now we are on arguments, right? So arguments now. Argument just allows you to pass some kind of variables to the script, right? To the script, and how you do that is by just while running the script, you just provide some other values at the end of the script. So after providing those values, you are then going to use something called positional parameters to access those values that you passed, right? So 0 now stands for uh, uh, the script name, right? So wherever the interpreter sees a dollar sign 0, is going to substitute it with the name of the script, right? And then the first parameter that was passed is going to be interpreted as the first variable, and then the second variable as the second value that you passed, and then like that. So dollar sign at will then give you all the values, all the arguments that you passed, right? Even if you provide 10 or 100 variables, they are going to be listed for you when you use the at a dollar sign at. And then dollar sign hash will give you the number of arguments. So you provide name of 5 servers. Then you want to know how many servers was passed, as argument to that script. Dollar sign hash will allow you to look at that. And so let's run this and see. So let me just save this. So I'm just running this and then provide whatever variables you want. All right. So let's just say web, right, mobile, PC. So so as you can see, what was printed here is the name of this file. The name of the script is argument.sh. As you see, as we run it here, argument.sh, and then the first value that we passed is web. So that was why, because let me just cut what's inside our file so that we can be referencing it. So this is what I have within my script, and this was what was printed, because we're using the echo command and then trying to access all of these variables or these values, right? So the first value that I provide, or the first argument that I passed, was what? Web. So that is why you have the first argument web, because of the echo statement that we had, and then the second value mobile, right? Mobile was printed, and then the third, and then the number of arguments, because we are using dollar sign hash. So we have the number of arguments, and then listing all of the arguments, we are using what was dollar sign at, right? So that is just a quick way to use arguments, right? So I hope I'm not moving fast.
I'm so sorry, but can you please repeat the arguments part again? I'm so sorry.
Okay.
And
Okay.
also, can you please help me understand why do we put name after read hyphen p, enter your name colon? Why do we put another name at the end?
Okay. Which part are you referring to?
So on the bash script, right? The
Okay. Is it
first
inside
one.
the file?
Yes. No, not the arguments one. We're gonna come back to this one. It's on the first script, the bash first script.
Is it this one?
Yes, that one. Yes. So you see
Okay.
there at that command, read p, enter your name. Why do we
Okay.
put another name there at the end?
Yeah.
You see that?
So this,
Yeah, why? That's my first question. Then my other question
or
is, please summarize what you just did now on that arrangement section because I didn't understand.
okay, okay, okay. I think I'm beginning to move fast, and then people are beginning to get left behind. So actually, what this do is that this is just a placeholder, right? So just imagine it as a placeholder for, no, no, not a placeholder, like a variable that collects or stores whatever the user types in, right? So as you see, initially when I ran the command, I typed in my name, right? So in order for the script to like to get hold of whatever I typed in, is going to be using this variable as a reference. So that is why immediately after the read command, you have this, which is going to hold on whatever the user types in, and then you can be able to access that as a variable, right? So somebody is giving more explanation in the comments, right? So it's just like a variable. Just look at it as a variable. So whatever anything you write here that comes after this read command and then your prompt is just going to be the variable that you can use, going on within the script to access the user's input. So it's as simple as that. So then secondly, okay, Yakub's hand is up. So let me just answer the second question and then I'll come to you. So this second script, I think let me explain it very slowly. So um, there's something called argument, right? So let me just go back and show you something. So argument is just means like you are providing some more information or some more variables, to the file, right? To the file that is containing your scripts, right? So whatever you type here, so long as they're separated with spaces, they are what? Uh, they are arguments. So imagine now I run this file like this without providing the arguments. You see, my echo command will just print what is within my echo, quotes, and then these variables are not going to be accessed. Why? Because they are not provided. I do not provide any arguments, right? So what if I provided arguments? These arguments. Okay, let me run. I need to run, right? So if I provide these arguments now, right, the script is now going to be able to find them using these positional parameters, right? Script is now going to be able to find these arguments that I passed to this script, right? So it's just a way for you to provide more information to the script, and then the script in turn is going to be using something called positional parameters to access whatever you passed to the script, right? So I hope you are okay with that, Fundi.
Yes, thank you so much. I just want to clarify. It is the dollar sign and numbers that give answers to those first argument, second argument, third argument, all arguments, right?
Yes, 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 that's right.
Okay.
So
And you
yeah, go on.
and you the one that stated in that order because you put web, mobile, PC.
Yeah,
So if I put, for example, mobile, PC, and web, the new script or the new command, the result will show the order that I just changed it to, right?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
thank
definitely.
you.
So
But now, sorry. where did the numbers come from? Because on that other, or on the arguments bash script, you just have script name, first argument, second argument, and then you put the, okay, okay, I'm
Okay,
confused.
so so this is, so as you can see, as you can just see literally, this is the first variable I'm passing, right? Are you clear with that? This is the first variable I'm passing to the script, right? And
Yes.
then yes, so and this is the second variable, and then this is the third variable, right? So how the interpreter is going to look at this is, this first variable, I place it here. That is why it is $1. Second
Mm,
variable, I place it here. That is why it is accessed with $2. You know,
mm,
third variable PC, $3, and like that, up to maybe 10, 100, or whatever amount of variable. But then there are other special ones, which is these three special ones, right? So this $0 now access the name, right? This access all of the variables, and then this access just the number of the variables. So that's just it. You just have only three different types that are not numbers, while the others are accessed based on their positions.
okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Now, can
Yeah.
I just go and see how does the script of the arrangements look inside?
Yeah. So this is how they are inside. This
Oh,
is the
okay.
script within the file,
Okay. Thank you
right?
so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let's quickly run to Jakub's question. Jakub, can you go on?
Okay, my own question, you have actually explained it, but there is still one question that is confused. The script is $0. Why is still running the script name? Like
Yeah.
the
So
script
it's
file.
because we are just using $0 to access the script name. Because in some instance you may want to use the script name to do something, right? So
Okay.
maybe let's say uh, VI. So let's say so I can just use rm dash f $. What's my $? 0. So can somebody tell me what is going to happen when I run this script?
It's going to remove the zero scripts.
Yeah. So what is going to happen
In
is, this file, the whole of this file is going to be deleted,
okay.
right? So there's
Yes.
maybe in some cases where uh, you want to delete this file the moment you finish running the script. Maybe some hackers, they just want to send this file somewhere, and then after running the script, they want the script to be deleted, right? You can use this command. So, but I don't want to delete this file right now. So just know that if I run this command now, when I go out and run the script, this file is going to be deleted. So it's just a way for you to access that file itself. Maybe not the variables, but that file itself, to use it for something. Right. So this is an example of what you can do, using the file, using the name of the script. If you're not only deleting, you're not only showing the name of the file, you're using it to perform some kind of operation. In this case, which is to remove the file, delete the file by force. You understand? So that's just an example of what you can do with the script name. I
Okay,
hope that
thank
is
you,
clear.
sir. Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go on. So I think I've explained argument. I think it's going to be a bit tricky for those that are purely new into tech. So, but then with this explanation, I hope you have some kind of a good understanding on this. So my advice is just for you to, after this or tomorrow, just try to run some of this script on your own. You can go to ChatGPT, you know, tell it your condition, tell them you are trying to learn scripting, right? Give you some little examples that you can run on your own. From the little explanations that I have here, you can run your own, get some examples and then run them on your own, by practicing them, gradually. Practice 2, 3, 5, 10, 20. Before you know it, you are going to start, getting very conversant and, able to run the scripts on your own. So someone's mic is on. I want to quickly run on to, okay, special variables. So I've discussed special variables already. So this is just the file name, then the variables that is positioned at the first, the first value that is passed to the script name, second value, and so on. And then this at is just all the variables, and then hash is the number of variables that was passed. So let's quickly go to arrays. Let's quickly go to arrays and then discuss what arrays are. So, but firstly, what are arrays? So arrays is just a way for you to so array is just like a variable on its own. It's a variable, but then it is able to store multiple values inside. Unlike a variable that is only able to store one value, an array can store multiple values, 10, 20, even 100 values. Right? So that is an array. So let's quickly look at an example. Okay, I have an array file here. So this is now an example of an implementation of an array, right? So how do you declare an array in the first place? To declare an array, you just need to specify the name of your variable, which is going to be the array, and then an equal sign, brackets, and then each value you want to be passing is going to be separated with a space, and ensure that they are within quotations, right? So unlike uh, some other programming languages that you may need to be putting a comma to separate these values, for this you just need to just put them within quotation and then separate them with the spaces. Right. So you can just, if you want, you can add more values by just adding quotation and then putting your uh, you know by just adding whatever number of values you want to add. So this is just a typical example of an array, a very simple example. So to access this array variables, now how do you do that? So to access a specific number of value, you can just use the name of the value, but then provide the dollar sign. Just like you provide a dollar sign to access a variable. Here you need to provide a dollar sign, and then you have to use the curly braces, right, to wrap the name of the array, which is this, right? So and then to access a specific value, you need to provide the index, right? So in this case now, who can tell me the value or the item that is going to be printed here? Because we are okay. I already wrote third server. So it's actually the third item that is going to be printed, right? Because we are using indexes. So this is index 0, this is index 1, and this is index 2. So by providing the index here, we are going to be able to access that particular value within the array, right? So am I making sense? Okay,
I
somebody
think you
wants
are,
to go.
Mohammed. So basically, the array and the arrangements work similarly or almost the same. It's just that the array, it follows those instructions whilst inside the script. And also, you need to like put servers equal, then put the arrangement that needs to be in what order, whatever order or whatever values that need to show in those two brackets.
Yeah.
Now, who's going to remember all of those stuff at the bottom? That dollar sign, open bracket, servers, square bracket. Whoa, where do you get shortcuts for that?
No, actually, not really shortcuts. Not really shortcuts. So, what you are just required to, is just for you to really just understand the syntax, right? The moment you understand the syntax, having to find a way around, you have a problem and then you want to solve it. Just understanding the syntax is going to make it very easier for you to write whatever you want to write, right? Because you can just quickly jump on Google and then look at how the right syntax is. So long as you already have an idea around all of this, and as you work with these things over time, you tend to even cram them, right? So it's just like mathematics. There are a lot of topics in maths, sine, cosine, trigonometry, all those kind of things. But then just having the idea, whenever you want to implement those things, is going to come for you like very easily. Just like there are a lot of people that can know like five programming languages, but it's not necessarily that they cram all the syntax on their own, but they just have that idea around how everything works. And then even in the age of AI, you can just jump into AI and then solve all your problems, so long as you understand what the AI is spitting out for you, right? But then you just also always have to understand the basics, right? In every endeavor, you have to understand the basics before trying to use AI or use whatever tool you want to. All right. So that is just why we're here, just to let us understand the basics before we can move on. Right. So is that okay, Fundi?
Just so you just put dollar sign and then at for all of, yeah, please clarify that.
Okay, Fundi, just give me a moment, please. Let me set up something. Okay, I think it has continued. Okay, so Fundi, can you please go over your question again? Sorry for that. Hello, Fundi, please go over your question again.
All right, so I was saying that when you were explaining the arrangement part, you had those three special values,
Yeah,
dollar zero,
yeah,
dollar something, and then dollar at, and then dollar
yeah,
something, which showed the values, right? So does
yeah,
this does the command, does the CLI read that at the front of the sentence it says number, so it must give you a value? Because I just want to understand why you used at. Yeah, you see at the bottom, you said number of arguments,
yeah,
dollar sign, hashtag. But now when you
yeah,
go to the array one that you were teaching us,
yeah,
if you go to that array one, you will see that you just putting dollar sign at, even when it has it, even when the question is asking number of servers. Did you see
yeah,
that? Yeah.
yeah.
So
So,
please explain the difference for me.
yeah. So, argument is totally different from arrays, right? So there are two different things, right? Array is just allowing you to store multiple values, and then it has its own specific ways of accessing those values within that array, right? And then argument is also just another very separate thing entirely, that just allows you to pass in values to a script. But then they also have some kind of similarities, right? Because if you look at this is just telling you that I'm trying to print the number, right? Number of servers, and then which servers are you printing? All of the servers. So if you also look at this art, so art is just like a kind of a way for you to access everything, right? So you're accessing everything and then you're counting them. Do you understand? They are totally different, but then there are some kind of similarities to ease your understanding. So maybe that was how it was built, to just maybe try to ease your understanding around all of these things. So they are totally different, but then they have these similarities, which also helps you, in your own understanding. So
I
this bracket
understand.
sign, yeah. So this bracket sign just allows you to do what? Allows you to access some kind of specific values within the array, right? But then hash sign, whatever hash sign comes in, hash sign is, trying to let you understand that you're trying to count the number of something. As you even know, in real life, you can express number of something with the hash sign, right? So the hash sign here is now saying number, and then you are trying to count what? Everything, which at sign mostly stands for what? All arguments. In this case, maybe all values within that array, right? Okay. Someone is also in the comment trying to put some kind of exclamations. Thank you so much, Barry Hota. Thank you, Olu. Thank you, Confidence. Thank you, Fundi. So, so I hope you understand that, Fundi. Are you okay with the explanation?
Yes, yes, I am. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. So I think we're talking about arrays, right? Arrays. Yeah. Okay. So I was about to explain. Okay, I was explaining this, and then so this is just a way to access all of the values, right? A way to access all of the values within our array. Right? So the name of your array doesn't have to be servers; it can be anything. Right? So just the name of your array, and then @sign to access all of the values within this, right? Okay, confidence. You don't understand arrays, so let me just go over it again, right? So this is actually how you declare an array, right? Just type in the name of the variable, right, and then bracket sign, and then every element is going to be inserted, and then encoded with the quotation, right? And then quotation, we just separate quotation, and then spaces, we separate all of your values. So it's just as simple as that. So this very simple line has helped us declare our array, right? It has helped us declare our array, and then the name of the array is what? Servers, right? So accessing the element is now the very little tricky part, right? So how do you access it? Unlike, if you are using variables, if you are using variables, you could just say uh, the name of your value, the name of your variable, like this, and then just say servers, and then you access that variable, right? But this is an array. You cannot access an array this way. You have to put it within curly braces, right? You have to put it within curly braces. So after we put it in within that curly braces, you then specify which element you want to access. Is it the first item? If it is the first item, you use 0 to access the first item, right? The second item, you use 1, right? Because arrays use indexes, unlike arguments that use $1 for the first argument, $2 for the second argument. For arrays, you use indexes, right? So indexes, you need to start from 0, 1, and then continuously, right? And then to access all of the variables, all of the values within the array, use the $sign, which is this, right? And then to access the number of all the variables. If there are 3 items here, you just need to add a hash. There's no hash. Okay, hash. Just need to add hash, in front of this, right? Yeah. So that is just how it works. It's just as easy as that. Just accessing a single value, accessing a single value, and then accessing all of the values, right? And then accessing the number of values. So just add hash to, you have after accessing all of it, adding hash will give you the number of all of the variables. I hope that is okay. All right. So that is a quick demo on arrays, right? Okay, let's run the arrays now and see. We've not run it. I'll just save my file. So you see the third value was what? The third value was cache, which is this, right? So it started from index 0, 1, 2. So by adding 2 here, I'm going to be accessing the third value, right? Then all of the items that were within that array are accessed by using the at sign, right? And then the number using the at sign, just like accessing all of the values and then adding a hash in front of the name of the array. So it's as easy as that. So next we're going to be
Sorry,
looking at,
to get the first value is going to be what? The dollar sign and what? Is it going to be dollar sign and zero or one to get the
okay,
first one, which is where?
let me edit it to access the first value. So what is the index of the first value? What is the index of the first value? Is it confidence that asked or Temitayo?
Kemitayo.
Yeah, Temitayo. So what is the index of the first value? What is the index of
One.
the first value? 1. So it's not actually 1. So just like I explained earlier, arrays actually use indexes, and indexes start from 0, right? 0, 1, 2, right? So to access the first value, you just need to say 0, because the index of the uh, first value here is 0. So just whenever you are looking at this, just put at the back of your mind that you need to start from 0. You don't count normally like 1, 2, 3. You count from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So the index is 0. I'm just going to save this now and then run it. So you see web was printed because that is the first that is the first value, the first the first value within that array, right? So it's just the indexes. You just need to understand how indexes work, and it's very easy. Just start counting from 0. It's as easy as that to understand indexes. So are you okay with that, Temitayo?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you, Olu. Thank you, Akub. So next we are going to be looking at case statements. So case statements are used to evaluate a single value against multiple conditions, right? So if you have a value and then you want to always compare it against a number of conditions, after comparing it against. Sorry guys, I have cold, so my voice is just somehow. So after comparing that variable, after comparing the variable against a number of conditions, and you don't maybe want to perform an action or run a specific command. So let's just jump into an example of let's run into an example of arrays, not arrays, conditionals, right? Conditions. No, case statements. Yeah, case statements. So where is my case statement? Okay, let me see vi case. Yeah. So this is so this is going to be a typical example of a case statement. So in this example, we have a variable called what? Car, and then the value within that variable is Tesla, right? So what you want to do is you want to check specific conditions, right, to know uh, based on the value that was stored inside the car. You just want to test if if the car is actually what? Tesla, right? Then you want to do something, right? And then you want to test again if the value of this variable car is this, right? You want to do something, this or this, you want to do something, and then the default case is what? The default case only runs after all of these conditions are not met, right? Then the default condition now comes into play, right? So how case statement actually works is that you have a variable and you don't know what is inside that variable, right? Then you want to use this case statement to see and now say, okay, if what I have within this variable is what equals to Tesla, that is why you say case in what? Tesla. It's just
Yes,
like
ma'am.
a fancy way to say if the value is this, right? If car in what? This. So if car, the variable within car is what? Tesla, you want to do something. So in this case, the command we want to write is what? Uh,
Made
we
in
want to just
USA.
echo. Yeah, we just want to echo made in USA, right? So but then let me explain how this syntax works actually. So this is for you to write a case statement, you need to have the opening and the closing, of
Mm,
the case statement. So case at the beginning, and then ESAC at the end, which actually closes the case statement, right? So and if you look at it closely, you see that it's actually case that has been spelled backwards, CASE, right? So to run the first condition, you just need to specify your condition, right? Case, and then your condition. This is your condition, and then you close the first condition with the bracket sign, closing bracket sign, and then write whatever command you want to write, and then end that command with double semicolon,
mm,
right? So whenever the interpreter sees double semicolon, it knows that this is the end of the command you want to run in case this condition runs to true, right? And then this is the second condition you are testing for, right? After testing the condition, if it is true, if the whatever is within this car variable is BMW, they would then want to run this command, right? And then this marks the end of our second command. So whatever,
mm.
so you can have a lot of commands within here, not only echo, right? So you can have something like, let me just edit this quickly. So you can have a lot of other commands within within your command space or command block, right? So whenever this condition runs to true, we can run a number of commands that we specify here, and then this is only going to be stopped when the double quotation or double semicolon is encountered, right? And then this now is like a kind of a double conditional check. So it's not a double conditional check, but it's like using a pipe, like this pipe now saying if this car has a value of uh, what's stored within this car variable is either Mercedes Benz or Audi, right? So it's either this or this, and then this is just like you can. There's another way to specify
Double
double
and
conditions. Like you can use and percent, right? So they are all conditions. They are all conditions that you just need to specify. Whenever the condition is met, a specific action will be carried out. Okay, let me see. My pipe sign on this my keyboard is just somehow, so just bear with me for that. So so that is just okay. So this marks the end of this commands that we're going to be writing here, and then this now defaults asterisks. So as you
yeah,
know,
all.
yeah, initially within uh, Linux itself, you know that asterisk mostly stands for what? Every other condition or every
Thing.
other character or every other thing else, right? So here is just specifying that if all of these conditions do not run to true, this is the default condition we're going to be running. So if this is not, if the car variable does not contain Tesla, BMW, Mercedes Benz, Audi, say another car, means say Toyota, right? So we don't want to print what on origin unknown, right? So let's just run this case statement and see. So you see, it actually printed made in USA. So why did it print made in USA? Because what our car variable is actually holding Tesla, right? So whenever this script is run, the value this car variable now is going to be substituted with what Tesla, and it now checks. So case car in Tesla. So it just literally it just actually means that if Tesla is Tesla, so if that is our car variable is holding Tesla, we don't want to print this command, right? So let's edit that and see. Let's say if it was actually Audi. Okay, so you see now, printing what? Printing made in Germany, right? Because what we have here, okay, let me cut that real quick. What we have here has been updated. So the case statement now is now going to look at this variable and see, okay, now substitute our value here and say car Audi, right? So this is now going to be Audi. So it's now check, is Audi equals to Tesla? No, it's not equals to Tesla. So we're going to skip this part, right? This part is going to be skipped. Then we'll now check again. This is another condition that we always have to be checking to see if it evaluates to true. You now check. So is Audi equals to BMW? No, it's not equals to BMW, right? So it now checks again. Is is Audi equals to BMW, Mercedes Benz, Mercedes? No, it is not Mercedes. Or let's now or Audi. Is it Audi? Yes, it's actually Audi. So that is two conditions within one, right? checking for this and then checking for this. So it now meets Audi. So after meeting Audi, you now say, okay, I'm now going to run whatever command you have here, which is what echoing made in Germany. Right. So what about default conditions? So for default conditions, now, you see that uh, the last command is going to be run. So you see, unknown origin is now printed. Why? Because Toyota is actually not equals to any of these conditions that we specified. So any of these conditions did not evaluate to true after checking if Toyota is equals to this, you know, it's not equals to all of this, then we fall back to our default condition, which is actually run this command. So it's not only echo command that you're going to be running, you're going to be running any other command you wish to run within that conditional side. So are we okay with case statements? Is there any question on this? Okay, Shavans, can you ask your question? Hello? Shavans, do you have a question? Okay, maybe Shavan is not here now. So let's just go on. So then if anyone has a question, you can just maybe just open your mic and speak. So we've looked at all of this. So next we're going to be looking at loops, and then within loops we have for loop, while loop, and the until loop, right? So let me just quickly go into that. Okay, we've looked at conditionals. Okay, multiple conditions is what we just looked at now. Okay, we've not talked about if statements. Okay, if statements. So if statements, if statement actually helps you check whether a condition evaluates to true. So it's actually very similar to case, because case is also trying to check if a condition is true, right? If a condition is true, it then performs a certain operation. But then case statement is now taking it a step further, now checking that variable, against multiple other variables or multiple conditions, right? So let me just open an example of if statements. Do I have an if statement right here? Okay, I think there's no if statement. Okay, conditionals, right? I think there's supposed to be conditionals. Let me check these conditionals. Okay, we have these conditionals. So let's look at these conditionals, but it's actually somehow complex. Let me see. Okay, let's look at this one. This one is more easier. So what what conditionals actually does is just like the case statement is only going to be helping you check if a condition is actually true, and then it performs a specific action. So you can just look at it as a kind of a shorter form of case statements. Case statements checks for multiple conditions, while if statement only checks for one, right? So in this example, we are just checking if this number here, right here that we have, if it's what greater than what, zero. So if that number is greater than zero, we don't want to what, want to run a specific command, which is echo in this case. Want to echo this number is positive, right? So mind you, the syntax for the if statement is also similar to that of the case. You start with this keyword if, right, and then your condition. Just like the way you specify the condition is actually a bit different, right? uh, in this case, you have to specify two bracket signs and then put in your conditions. And then after that condition, you have to provide a semicolon and then. So this then keyword is now trying to tell you that then you want to run a specific command, right? So after running that command, you want to end that block of code with the if, which is like a reverse for if, fi, right? If and then fi ends the block of statement. So we just want to run this command now, run this script. So you see it now equals what, 5 is positive, which is the command we specify that we want to run if this condition is actually true, right? So 5 is positive. So you can change this number and see, or change the conditionals. All of this will now, check the condition. If that condition actually matches, then you run whatever command you want to run. So it's very similar to the case statement, just like it's like a simpler version of the case statement. So there's also uh, multiple conditions, multiple if statements, which is this, which allows you to check for multiple conditions by what, chaining a number of if and if else's, right? So in this case, when you have multiple conditions and then you want to use the if statement, you can add other conditions by using what, the keyword elif, right? So you say if a specific condition, right, then you want to do something, and then if you want to add another condition, use the elif, right? Then you say elif, specify your condition again, and then run your command. And then lastly, then you now say what else you want to run this command, and then end the conditions. So this is actually supposed to be spaced so that you can understand that you are within a block of statements. Right? So this is like a kind of a better way to structure your code, so that you separate your keywords, so you can easily see that this is the if condition, then you're running this, and then elif is another condition, right? And then you're running this command, and then else, which is the last condition, right? Which does not require a check for condition. You want to do this. So in this case, we have 0. So if 0 is greater than 0, we want to do what? Say this is positive, right? So let me just change this number. Let's say 5, right? So if 5 now is greater than 0, what you want to do is just to say this is positive, right? Else, if 5 is less than this, we want to say negative, which is not going to happen, right? And then else we want to say 0. So let's just run this command now and see. So you see it now says 5 is positive. So are you guys with me? Okay, Shavan's hand is up and is not speaking. Okay, Yakub, you want to say something?
Yes, I want to ask, like, what is the difference between this case study, case statement, and condition statement?
Yeah, so condition just allows you to check just for they are both used to check for conditions, right? Check your condition and then perform a specific action, right? So if uh, you check for a condition and then you perform a specific action. So in the case of you maybe just having one condition you want to check for, the best the best syntax or the best command to use in that specific scenario is to just use the if statement, right? So if a specific condition is true, you then do that. But then if you have multiple conditions you want to be checking for, you have the option of using either of the two, either case statements or if else blocks, because if else block will perform the same kind of will give you the same result at the end of the day, right? But then if you have multiple conditions, it's always advised for you to use the case statement because it is more cleaner, right? It's more cleaner and very easier to read. Okay, is that okay with you?
Yes, it's okay. But is it possible we should use both in a script?
Yeah, you can use both in the script.
Right.
You can use both of them in the script.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, definitely. Indentation actually makes your code more readable. It even prevents you from running into errors. So after if conditions, we now want to look at okay, loops. So loops actually allows you to run some kind of commands repeatedly, right? You can use loop to run a command repeatedly. So we have three types of loops. You can either have the for loop, while loop, or the until loop, right? So let's look at how they work in action. So let's look at the while loop. Well, I'm just checking the time, and I think is way past. It's almost 10 o'clock. It's wow. Okay, so we're going to be stopping at 10 o'clock. I actually got lost and didn't look at the time. So I'm going to be stopping at 8 o'clock, please, so that we don't interrupt some people's schedule. So this is while statement, right? So what the while statement does is that it is going to be running running a particular code a number of times until a particular condition is met, until whatever is within this conditional block, until it evaluates to true, right? Before we can stop, right? So in this case now, we have our variable count, right, which is equals to 1, and then we are now saying while count is less than 5, we want to continue echoing this line of code, right? We want to continue echoing this line of code, and then what? After that, we want to what? Count plus plus. What this does is that it's going to increment 1 to whatever value we have here, right? So in this case, now that we have 1, after running this command, if this evaluates to true, we are now going to do what? Increment 1. After incrementing 1, count becomes 2, right? So now let's just run this command now and see how the output is going to be. As you know, I've already told you that the while condition or the while loop allows you to run a specific command repeatedly, in this case, which is this, right? Repeatedly until a condition is met. What is that condition? When count when count is no longer less than 5, then we are going to stop, right? So let me run that. So you see, it has continuously run this command, uh, that command, which is, let me just cut it right here. So you see, it has continuously run this command until what? Until this count is no longer less than 5. So the LE now, the LE is just a short form of what, saying less than, right? And as we saw earlier, GT is what, greater than, right? So we continuously printed this until it gets to 6, right? When it gets to 6, it now checks the condition and see, is 6 less than 5? No, it is not less than 5. So we don't do what, exit the while loop at that moment. So I didn't explain how the while block is. So by just looking at it, you know that this is the start of your while loop, and then this is the end of your while loop. So actually, uh, every block every block of code every block of code actually have their beginning and the ending, right? So for while loop, this is the ending of while loop, which is done. So it is not actually very similar to the rest, like case, which is ending with a reverse of case, and then if, which is ending with a reverse of if, which is fi. So for this, the what marks the end of this block is done, right? While and then done, and then this is what, after specifying your condition, semicolon, and then do, right? Do now specifies, now tells you that this is the command I want to run. Unlike if statement. If this was if statement, it's going to start with if, and then here you have the semicolon, and then you have then here, not to do, right? So you have to look at all of the syntax and see what is their similarities, and then what is their uniqueness. For if condition, you use then here, right? And then it ends start with if and then end with fi. So for while, it starts with while and then ends with done, right? And then the conditions are actually the same, right? Just that for case it uses in right here. For case it uses in to check for conditions, right? So uh, and actually a very big uh, uh, distinction between this is that you can write a whole of what's it called, conditions. Where is it? So this is actually only going to be checking if a variable is actually we didn't actually have in this variable, unlike if statement, that you can have a large number of, where's my if state, a large, a very complex kind of conditional checks, right? So that's just one of the difference. This can carry a very complex conditional checks, and then you can use if else to chain a number of conditions that you're going to be checking for. So are we okay with the while loop? So while loop just allows you to run a specific command until this condition runs to false. Then we stop. If it doesn't stop, that means we don't stop running that command. It continues indefinitely. And then I think we've run the command and saw the output. Right. So that is while loop. So next we have for loop. So let me just open the for loop file.
Please explain the for loop again. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I've not explained for loop. I just explained while loop.
Oh,
You want me to go over
okay.
that again? That was for while
Yes,
loop.
the while one. The one that you just did previously, yes.
Okay. Okay, so this is actually the code within it. So this is actually a while loop. So what while loop actually does is that it helps you run a specific command continuously until until the condition you specify runs to false, right? So long as whenever we check this condition, the output is what true, we're going to continue running this command, you know, and then within your while loop, you need to have a condition that will actually run to make that loop false. So in this case, we are now going to be incrementing count just so that count keeps increasing, and then it eventually becomes greater than 5. Then this condition now, count, which is going to be 6, is now going to be, is it less than 5? uh, Count now, which is going to be 6. Wait, I'm coming. Let me just run this within. Yeah. So when it gets to 6, it's now say, is 6 less than 5? 6 is not actually less than 5. So now our condition has now run to what? False. So then that loop breaks, right? But we started from 1. So each time we checks if is 1 less than 5, it is true. Then it now prints this statement with the value of 1, right? And then increments. After incrementing, count becomes 2, right? Then after making count 2, it will now check again, is 2 less than 5? Yes, actually less than 5. Then I want to do what? Print this, right? So after printing this, it increments to 3, to 4, to 5, right? And now checks, if is 5 less than 5? No, it's not less than 5. We still print again, right? It then increments again to 6. Is 6 less than 5? Fundi, is 6 less than 5?
No.
So if 6 is not less than 5, that is to say our condition is now false. So since our condition is false, we are now going to break
Yes.
out of this loop, right? We then break out of this loop, and then you
Okay.
know our while condition loop has now evaluated to false, so we can now leave the loop. Do you understand? I hope you understand fully. All right. So
Yes, I do. I just want to see how it will run on the normal CLI when you're out of this script. Yes. So when you run it now, it's gonna
yeah,
count from 1. Then when
yeah,
you'll enter again, it'll go to 2. Then you'll enter, it'll go all the way up until 5. And
yeah.
then
So
how do you see when it breaks?
this is
Oh,
this is it actually.
all right, I see.
This is it.
I
It
see.
now prints this line. So it is this line that is going to continuously
True.
what's it called?
Mm,
Continuously print
display.
within the loop.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So that is why it is called while loop. It just continues looping, through and then running that command until this condition is now false. Right. So I hope you're okay with that. I hope you understand that.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Then I think we can quickly look at for loop. For loop. Let me see. For loop. Okay, we have for loop. Okay, we have two examples here. So let me see which one can we look at quickly. Let's just look at this first one. So I'm just trying to isolate the first one. So I'm just commenting out the second example so that we can run the first example only. Yeah. So for this example, we just want to use the for loop to to and let's make this a bit more readable. So we just want to use the for loop to loop through this, right? So we're now looping through this. This is called a range. This is a range, right? So this is now going to be when this is executed, this is going to be just like an array, right? And it's going to contain the values 1 to 5. So this is just a range. So we're now saying for I, right? For I in this. So that is to say for every value within this range, we are now using this I as a variable to access each of the values within this range, right? Which is going to be 1, 2, 3, or 5, right? So for I within this, we want to do this. We want to echo current number, I, right? We just want to echo the current number, right? And then for for the syntax, it is very similar to that of the while loop. So that is why all of them are even what loops. So you don't specify the command you want to write with maybe then or something. You just do just like while, right? So let's just run this command now. Uh, say bash, right? So you see very similar to while loop, right? So for that, it now loops through all of those values. Okay, actually a large file, so I can use head 10. Let me just use head. So just to quickly check, print the content of that file, and then we want to also look at the content and then look at the output at the same time. So this is how our file. So we are now looping within this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we are running this command, which is in this case we are saying what current number, and then providing the current iteration that we are on, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope you are understanding that. So for every number within this range, we want to do this. So that is how for loop actually works. It helps you iterate through all of the values that you have. If you have 100 values, within this range, or if you have an array, actually, if you have an array, it's going to loop it's going to loop through all of the items within that array, and then run the command that you specify. So in this case, we are just simply printing these statements, right? I hope that is understandable. Maybe you can just play around it a little bit and say range, maybe say range 1 to 10, right? And then save and run. Okay, I think I have a typo somewhere. How did I make this mistake? Okay, let me just edit that. So you see, I just edited that to expand the range, right? So I'm just saying range 1 to 10, right? So whatever number you now specify here, even if it's an array, we're just going to loop through that array and then print all of the items within that array, or just do something with that, right? I hope you understand how the for loop works. So unlike the if statement that is only checking for a particular condition and then it does an action, or the case statement that is also always also looking for a condition, you know, and then while loop is also checking for a condition. The for loop is actually is actually looping through all of your items, right? Through all of your array, or all of the range, right? So that is what is key difference between for loop and the other loops, and then and the other conditional statements. Yeah. So is that clear? The for loop, is it clear for everyone?
Yes.
Hello. Okay. All right. All right. I think it's already very late, and I'm very sure some people are already sleeping. So yeah, it's already 10 o'clock, and we've spent like 2 hours already. So I'm just going to be stopping here, and then in our next class, I'll just go through the last conditional that is remaining, which is the until loop, and then we look at functions. After looking at functions, we'll look at how to debug your file, right? How to debug uh, or how to run your script safely. Right? We look at some kind of strategies to run the script safely, and then from then on, we can then look at another topic. But for now, since we've spent 2 hours and it's already late, we'll just be stopping here. So if anyone has any other question they want to ask, they can quickly ask before we end the session. So is there any question from anyone?
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
My own question is, I want to ask, like, and this community, do they have any group that I can join?
Okay. Actually, this is okay. This is actually TS Academy students, right? So I just invited you to come and learn also, but it's actually TS Academy group. And so I don't know if you are going to be, because it's actually a paid program, and they are not going to be allowing you to access some of their own paid resources. But then some
Yeah,
of the things
so
that we're going to be giving out here, is going to be free for you. And then maybe we'll
yes.
just share whatever files we want to share, and then if there are videos, I can share it with you also,
All right.
right?
Thank you
But
so much,
then,
sir.
yeah, we don't want to be taking any of their resources.
Resources out, sure. I really understand. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I really appreciate for the section also. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. So, is there any other question? Shavans has had his hands raised for like an hour. I think he might be sleeping by now. So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And then our next class is going to be announced within that group. And then possibly we are going to be looking at Git in the next class. After we're going to briefly look at the remaining parts, and then we'll look at Git. Then maybe from then on, we can then look at the current topics the instructor is taking on now, and then we can gradually move from there. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And then maybe we'll meet in the next class. Good night.